We
made it!
You made it!
We made it!
It didn't blow up.
Oh, amazingly. I have no idea how, but the thing is here.
It's here? No worries.
Yeah, so it's still got the check engine light.
Yep.
It didn't ever get to operating temperature, but
so it was coming up on the gauge, just never got to operating temp.
Yeah, correct. It was always about there.
Yeah, no worries. Oh. We got here.
Should be right.
Here we are.
Maybe.
Nice. Yeah, the bronze doesn't look too bad in person.
Yeah, it's changed up a little bit since you last saw it.
A little bit different.
Yes, just don't look too closely.
Hey, Sarah.
Oh, she loved the drive out here, hey.
Loved it?
She
bouncing around?
Oh, she loved
Bouncing
it.
around like a pinball?
I think it was terrible.
Yeah, they're not the best roads.
No. But no, she's here. She made it. Oh, and Link sent me a message about 5 minutes ago saying their website was back up. So yeah, massive shout out to Link, so.
Alright, so obviously, it goes without saying, today we're doing some work with Zac's R33. So the STD33 is back. Now powered by Link. So Zac's finally gone and gotten the new ECU in this car. He opted for the Link plug and play. It's the new G4X. So this is actually our first hit at the new G4X platform from Link. We haven't played with an X yet. We've still been playing with the G4 Plus. So interested to get into this and have a look at it. So it's still got just the regular base map. So it was fitted by Sam there at Whitey's Wiring. Always hooking us up with good deals for Link and Haltech and stuff. So massive thank you to Sam there at Whitey's for fitting it up and putting the base map in it. And so Zac's been sort of just still babying it around with the base map. My assumption would be, I reckon even the Link base map for the plug and play ECU is probably better than what was happening with this car the last time we had it on the dyno. So if you don't remember, the last time we had it on the dyno, just after we rebuilt the motor for Zac, we just had the stock ECU in it. We ran it up on the dyno just to sort of run in the new motor and just as sort of a sanity check to check how healthy it was, and it was not doing too well. So stock ECU was just not having a good time. When they pulled out the ECU at Sam's to fit the plug and play, they actually found that it was actually a Mines ECU. So that probably has somewhat to do with it, but we couldn't get the thing to run at a decent AFR at all. Boost was all over the place. It was like 13.5 to 14 AFRs under load. It was not happy. So since then, Zac's had the mindset of he's going to put an aftermarket ECU in it. For now, he's just been babying it around, just driving it, babying it, not getting into it too hard on those unsafe AFRs. So he's finally got his Link in here, so it's finally back here for a tune, and yeah, that's pretty much the go. So we're going to try tune it today. Zac's brought out just a Boost T, so it's still completely stock injectors, stock ECU, stock intake, stock turbo, stock manifold, everything's just stock. It's just got an exhaust and obviously the Link. So we'll give it a tune today, see what we can make out of it. When it left here last time with the stock ECU in it, it was getting to just 7.5 PSI. And stock ECU at those like 13.5 AFRs was making about 240. So hoping to squeeze sort of 270 out of it today. If we can put the Boost T on it and just crank it up to about 10 pound, I'm hoping 270 at the wheels, which will be fun for Zac to get into it a bit, and he'll finally be he will finally actually be able to enjoy the car and actually feed it some throttle and have some fun and know that it's going to be safe. So also going to try set up the knock detection in the G4X today so that he's got some knock detection and knock control. Obviously the RB25s came from factory with knock detectors, sensors, and the Link plug and play can utilize these, so it makes sense to try and set it up. So we'll see how we go. I've not had anything to do with the stock RB25 knock sensors before. From what I've read, they are a wideband sensor, so I've sort of set up a base map where I can load in where I'm pretty sure I've got the knock detection pretty right, and then we just got to set our parameters, but we'll find out when I get into it and have a look.
Little plastic arm.
Yep.
Turns. Yeah, there's just little drives.
Righto, so I'll get this thing out of the way, get the dyno all ready to go, and we'll get this thing up and have a look at it. So on the way here, or this morning, Zac actually had some issues with the 33. He reckons he got in and got it running, but it wouldn't come up to operating temp. And it's got a check engine light, sorry. So being a plug and play though, I'm pretty sure the Link now controls all the engine lights on the dash and everything else. So like I said to Zac, without having seen the car yet, I wouldn't be able to tell him what it is. But he reckons it was driving with no issues. I figured check engine light's only going to be not detecting input from a sensor or no oil pressure, and considering that he had driven it around the block a few times, I figured that he would know already if it didn't have oil pressure. So I told him just to drive it out here, and he got here and he made it. So we'll plug in the computer and have a look at what the Link's actually doing.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know, it was a bit of a bit of a mystery, and it just so happens that the Link website was down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Zach was like, oh, if I just download the Link, PC Link software, can I just jump in the ECU and just have a look at what it's doing? I was like, yeah, go for it. And yeah, he went to download the software and the Link website was down. So
yes, and both, like, it wasn't just my internet, it was Sarah's phone, my phone. I tried for hours to try and get it. And then at the end of it, we're just like, I called Sam at Whitey's Wiring, massive shout out to him, and he's just like, yep, it's a cold morning, it's an untuned car, we don't know what it is. If the car's running fine, once it's warm-ish, then we're fine. So I let it warm up for about 10 minutes, took it a drive around the block for two laps, and she was mint, so.
No worries. Well, we'll have a look and see what's going on.
Rightio, I thought I'd do a little bit of filming for them while they're doing their stuff and tuning. The base map came out incredibly lean. It was running about 15 or 16 AFR, I think I saw. So just cleaning that up at the moment, and yeah, should be really cool. So I'll let him continue what he's doing. I have no idea what he's doing. Like ECU software just looks so incredibly cool to use, that like the Link ECU software. I'm keen to learn more about it, but I'll let them do their thing. Looking a whole lot better since we first brought it in. I don't know if you guys can see it, but he's slowly bringing down the AFRs. At the moment they're sitting around 12, 13. So we keep bringing it down, making sure she's all nice and safe.
Alright, so Zach did some clips on my camera, what a bro. Alright, so we played around with the fuel map, we've got the fuel map almost mapped, but we have already run out of injector. So I brought up the start of the day, this one 240 here, the red, that was from the last time Zach's car was here, so you can see how different that was. So that was this boost curve compared to what it's doing now that it's actually behaving properly. So we are actually getting sort of 9.5 pound with no boost T, which is awesome. But it is already out of injector. So around this area we're hitting 100% duty cycle on the injector. So it's still got the stock regulator setup, like the stock R33 reg setup. So at the moment, what we're trying to do is just get another reg in there just to try and up the fuel pressure enough that we can get it back down on the duty cycle a bit. So I'll have to just fix this map up a little bit after we get a reg in it, but we need to bring it down off that duty cycle because obviously 100% duty cycle is not ideal for one, but for two, because it's a plug and play, the Link actually controls all the lights on the dash, and when it hits 100% injector duty cycle, it throws a code and brings up a check engine light. So we don't want Zach to have a check engine light all the time. It's going to annoy him. It's going to annoy everyone. So we're just trying to find another regulator that we can get in the system. But yeah, you can see like where he was when it left last time, you know, up here in that 13.5s, and like just it's so much better with this ECU. We did find that the stock base map was very, very, very lean, but that could be something to do. There may be something wrong with these, the regulators or something. Again, we have no gauge in the line. We have no way to know how much pressure it's actually making at the moment. So we'll chuck another reg in, get some fuel pressure into it, hopefully bring that duty cycle down and get it, you know, happy days at a sort of 11.8 with that 9.5 pound, and we should be doing pretty well, so that'll be awesome. Alright, so we put a reg in, another reg, so we bumped the base pressure up to 60 psi, so 4 bar, so we chucked an extra bar of fuel pressure in, which has brought our idle down a fair bit, so hopefully that's going to be enough fuel for us to get, you know, a safe AFR without hitting our injector duty cycle limit. Again, it's not ideal to have that much fuel pressure. It's not bad, but it's the only option we've got because it's running 9 pound with no boost here. There's no way we can lower any boost except for put more timing in, which we haven't got to yet. But either way, there's nothing else we can really do except for up the fuel pressure at this point without injectors or without changing something else. So yeah, that's just the way it is. So. Righto guys, so we're still out of injector. We've put as much fuel pressure as we can into it with the reg that we've got here, but it's not holding pressure the way it should be. Unfortunately, we don't have another reg. It is just an unfortunate thing with the stock parts. It is what it is. There's not much we can do about it. So it's not perfect. It's not where I'd like to see it, but it's a lot better than it was. I'd still be pretty happy for Zach to go and give it a caning. That's going to be fine. Especially because I'm setting up the knock control, which I'm halfway through sort of doing at the moment. It's just the power steering belt's sort of walking its way off, so we've stopped. We're going to reset that, have some lunch. I'll finish setting up the knock control, and then we'll put a little bit of timing back in it. But pretty much the plan at the moment is that Zach, within the next month, he reckons, is going to change to a forward-facing plenum, buy some new injectors. He's got a new turbo on the way. So he's looking at sort of doing another setup change and retune at that point anyway. So we're not looking to go too crazy with this today. We sort of just want to get to the point where Zach can actually finally enjoy the car and know that he can get into it and it's going to be okay. It's unfortunate that there's no way we can lower the boost. That just is what it is. Because there's no way for us to lower the boost, there's not much else we can do as far as the fueling goes. So
we're not bitching it out, basically.
Well, there's nothing we can do. It's on gate pressure, that's it. It is what it is. So hopefully, yeah, I don't know, maybe when we put some more timing in, it'll bring the boost back down a little bit and maybe help the injectors out a bit, but they're maxed out. It is what it is. So that's pretty much where we're at the moment. So we'll sort out this belt, have a little bit of a bite to eat, and then I'll finish setting up the knock setup, knock detection and retard. And after that, we'll just, put a little bit of timing in until our cylinder noises come up with I'll put the audio on. And just see where we go. So, hopefully 250. See what happens. But yeah, really need some more injector to get some more fuel into it. Or even if we had a decent reg that was holding that 4-bar pressure, we'd probably be alright. But this regulator's not holding that pressure. It's not doing. It's better than it was, but still not enough.
Very cool. So what's the plan? I'm not quite sure.
What do you mean?
Wouldn't have a clue. I'm just looking at numbers.
Oh, right. Well, we're out of injector.
Yeah.
So we're right on the limit of our injectors.
Yep.
Safer than it was. You'll still be able to drive it.
Yep.
It should be right to drive pretty well.
Do you want to try and just get that little bit of lump out there in sort of 6.5-ish?
Yeah, I'm going to try, yeah. But we are like way over our VE.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, pretty much needs new injectors, needs new fuel setup.
Yep.
It is what it is.
That'll all be fixed within the month, so...
Yeah. But either way, like, it's still going to be...
That's it, it's still going to be, yeah.
So I'm just finishing up the fuel table now, cleaning up a few areas. I just got to finish setting up the knock control, and then be right to go pretty much.
Sounds great.
Once again, because it's a one-day tune, much like James's the other day, I won't be able to sort out any cold start, but...
Yeah. Oh, I was well aware of that anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah,
being stock injectors and stock base map from Link, it should be pretty right at the cold start.
How hard could it be? I'll just jump in there, crunch some numbers.
Yeah, mate.
Easy done.
Easy being a tuner.
Right, yeah. So we've just been playing around with it, trying to get a little bit of power out of it. Max has managed to get it up to so far 253, which is 30 more horsepower that we managed to get from the stock ECU. So basically, Max is a better tuner than Nissan. So yeah. There you go. Actually mine, sorry, which is a Nissan specialist in Japan because it was a mines chip DCU. So, I'm just joking, guys. But yeah, so we'll end up going for one more power run.
Called it on the dot.
Alright, so we are pretty much sorted. Knock controls all set up, all the parameters are set, everything's good. ECU's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. We ended up at 253 horsepower at the wheels, which is a 13 horsepower gain over last time, and much safer AFRs now. So Zach can actually go and have some fun with this car at this point. So we are 100% out of injectors. It's a pain in the ass. This reg doesn't seem to be holding up. It's acting like it's out of pump, but if you remember, the last time this car was here, we put the new Warbro 255 in it, so it should have plenty of pump. So we can't believe that it is out of fuel pump, but this regulator doesn't seem to be keeping up at all. So yeah, still out of injector. It is what it is. It's just stock parts. There's not a lot that we can do about it. You know, we can't make any less boost at this point, so all we can do is tune as best we can to what's there until Zach gets you know, a better fuel setup and does all that in the next month. So when it comes back from that, we'll give it another tune and pump a little bit more boost into it. It should be a lot nicer, make a lot more power then. But for now, Zach can go and have some fun.
100%.
Keen. So that's pretty much all right.
Car out.
Yeah, about ready. It's nearly there. It's not too far away. I keep saying that, but we keep not having time to build anything. So like I was saying to Zach, much like James's tune the other day, it's only here for the day, so we don't have time to dial in the cold start. But also much like James's tune, being a stock setup, stock injectors, the link base map's not too bad. It should cold start fairly well. It shouldn't be a huge problem. So we'll just see how it goes. Again, when it comes back the next time to get all these upgrades, it's going to be here for a bit longer. So when it's here for a bit longer, we can, you know, focus a bit more time into getting everything perfect, getting the tune a bit more dialed in, you know, doing exactly what we can. So that's pretty much where we're leaving it today. 253 horsepower, which is plenty enough to go and have some fun. And yeah, I think Zach's looking forward to finally being able to put his foot down.
It's going to be heaps of fun. It hasn't been over 4,000 RPM in about 3 months.
Yep.
It hurts me. And the last time it did go over 4,000 was with a slipping clutch. And about a 15 pounder boost.
And
15 PSI, sorry.
Hardly any compression.
Yeah, it wasn't a fun time. It was quicker between 2 and 3 than it was over 4. So yeah, it's a really sad sight, this car, to be honest.
It's slowly getting there.
Very slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. Again, obviously being the injectors that high duty cycle is the last thing as a tuner. You want, like, the last way you want to send a car out the door, but there's nothing else we can do. It's on gate pressure, and we don't have any more regs, so that's it. That's all we can do with it. Anyway.
Wouldn't expect anything less from the SGD33, mate.
Well, considering that it got here on the base map that was in it, that was that lean, it's definitely a tough little bitch.
Perhaps it's just your good engine building skills.
Oh yeah, it's a testament. Testament to that.
That's it.
Nah, awesome. All right, sweet as.
Very cool.
Get it off the dyno.
Yes, and I'll give you some money.
Alrighty, off Zach goes again. Go and enjoy that car, hopefully. It is annoying that pretty much every time that car leaves here, it's not perfect. I'm not happy with it. But that being said, it's always because of a stock part. It's not up to par. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like I was saying, the last thing you really want is an injector cycle that high. Your duty cycle's so high. But being on gate pressure, there's no way we can drop the boost pressure. There's no way we can seem to get any more fuel up to it. We don't have reg around here that was working. We put that reg on it, which made it a little bit better, but it's still really getting up there as far as duty cycle goes. So it is what it is. It's weird to me. It shouldn't, in theory, you know, an R33 injector setup shouldn't be running out of injector at that sort of boost level. So I'm not sure, but like I said, we put that new pump in it last time I was here. I can't imagine that it's the pump. So it's just another one of those things where when people are here only for the day to get a tune, there's only so much we can do, there's only so much time we've got. Can't sit here all day chasing issues with the fuel system when we don't have the parts to fix it, and it's a stock setup anyway, and Zach's got to get home today, so it is what it is. Anyway, that's where it's at. It'll be back here later. At least it's safe enough Zach can go and smash it and, you know, sort of just boot the shit out of it everywhere. It'll be fine. So the other thing that I did find with the G4X, which I actually already knew that was, as a lot of people have been having problems with, is because the G4X processes so fast, it was actually picking up miscounts in the like the trigger system of the RB25. So those optical triggers, they're known for not being that great, and the G4X reads that fast that it picks up all the little indiscrepancies and stuff like that. So a few runs where I logged the power run, it was dropping out the trigger, and it didn't seem to bother the car, but it just completely stopped logging everything. Like just flatlined everything in the log. But yeah, it's weird. The car seemed to not affect it too much. You couldn't see it on any of the data from the dyno. Just you could definitely see it in the ECU log that it just sort of. I only did it on a few runs, but it definitely did happen. So I think Zach was going to look at potentially changing the trigger setup on that car. But yeah, I mean overall. Was a pretty good day. Just sucks that we ran out of injector, but it was pretty good to get a hit at that new G4X. It's much the same as the G4 Plus, not a lot different, but there are a few little differences in there which are pretty good. So it's nice that that thing, like even though it's a bit lean, it's not too lean, but it's a bit leaner than I'd like, and we're at maximum injector duty cycle, at least we still have knock detection on the ECU, and you know, the ECU has parameters to detect knock and pull timing if it has to, for if in the event that something like that does happen. So at least it's safe and protected, much better than it was obviously with the stock ECU setup. So it's amazing how much just straight up a better ECU makes the entire car. But yeah, anyway, keen to get that car sorted again when Zach actually has decent parts in it again. I told him just to buy a set of Bosch 1000s. He's gotten a new China turbo or whatever. Not really too worried about that. He's going to get a decent regulator and just a Freddy forward facing. So, and after that, we'll get that car sorted and run on some more boost to make some more power, and he can go hit up some tracks. So me and Rex have been thinking and talking about it. The more that we sort of think and talk about it, the more we're pretty certain it's got to be something to do with the fuel supply in that car. The reason that we're out of injector at 10 pound. I know for a fact that there's a lot more people out there that are running, you know, way more than 10 pound on the RB25 injectors and not out of injector. The RB25 injector should still have enough flow at 10 pound of boost to definitely keep up. So the reg that we put on, again, it was an unknown reg, so we're not quite sure, but it wasn't holding pressure higher up in the revs. But, you know, it was not doing too bad at idle, but you know, if it can hold pressure at idle, it should be able to hold pressure higher up in the rev range. There's nothing that should really be stopping it from holding pressure further up in the rev range. At idles when it's got to bleed off the most fuel. So it definitely, although I'm still not convinced that it's the pump at all, I reckon the pump's fine. But, you know, you got a car that Zach got real cheap, that has, you know, it's been bush bashed and stuff. You know, the history of that car is known. It has been flogged around in the paddock. It has been not treated very well. So we're starting to think it must be, you know, something to do with an inline fuel filter, or maybe there might be a hard line in the fuel lines that's damaged or kinked or something, or copped a hit off-road, or, you know, off-road in the paddock or whatever they were doing with it, whoever had it. So again, it would have been nice to go through and check all these things, but when it's a one-day tune like this, we just don't have time. It's just one of those things where we don't have time to go investigating this sort of thing. So what I'll do, I'll tell Zach what I think, and I'll make sure he sort of goes through all of that stuff before he puts all his new parts on, and before it comes back here, try and make sure that it's, you know, pretty well sorted, hopefully, for that. And hopefully when we get it back here, you know, I told Zach when it comes back here to get all those parts and stuff done, I was like, leave it with us for like a week. We'll go through the car and we'll get the freaking thing like just sorted, just done. Sick of having these little issues every time we're doing something with it. So, you know, the last time we were smashing out an engine rebuild and then had all those problems with stock equipment where there's nothing you can do with faults like that. Now we've got a good ECU, which is telling us everything that's going on. There's plenty that we can do with it. But just unfortunately today we didn't have the time to sort of get around and make sure everything was okay. So hopefully the next time we can get everything sorted, get all these new parts on the car and finally get it absolutely dialed in. And I'm sick of having problems with that car. Every time it comes here, it's got problems. It pisses me off. So But that's the only thing that makes sense to me. I'm sure a lot of you guys that are watching this, a lot of my fan base are from RBs, and I'm sure plenty of you could testify that an RB25 injector setup should definitely not be running out of injector at 10 pound. It doesn't make any sense. So it's got to be a fuel supply issue, and I'm not convinced it's the pump because it's brand new. So it's got to be something in a line or a filter. So I'm not sure where the filters are on those R33s. I've never had to deal with an R33, honestly. That's pretty much the first R33 I've had to build. Done a lot of RB25s, but just never an R33. So yeah, I'll tell Zach to go through a few things, and we'll see what happens after that. Hopefully we can sort the thing out. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Smash like, smash subscribe. Head to the shop and buy a sticker if you'd like, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out.